영트의 리액션.
1596년 히데요시는 14만 1500명으로 두 번째 침략을 준비한다는 내용입니다. 141,500 men to head to the shores of Korea. As this new
Is that an exaggerated number?
오늘은 외국인이 만든 명량해전 영상 리액션입니다. 외국인이 만들었기에 사실과 다른 점이 있을 수 있습니다. 또한 2차 재사용 규정으로 설명과 더빙이 있는 점 양해 바랍니다. 1,500 men to head to the shores of Korea.
God damn.
As this new invasion force was setting sail, the Korean court received a letter from one of the Japanese commanders, in which he appeared to be selling out one of his counterparts, telling the Koreans exactly where his hated rival's fleet would be sailing, and suggesting that if only Admiral Yi Sun-shin would sail there, he could wipe them out and do everybody a favor. 그러자 이순신 장군은 이 말을 듣고 웃었다는 내용입니다.
He's too smart for that.
He refused the order to sail his fleet into an obvious Japanese trap. But Yi's childhood friend, Ryu Sung-young, had enemies in court.
Yeah, that's not good. You know, Yi knows that this is a trap, but Yi cannot refuse those orders coming from the top. Even if you know they're stupid, you're gonna get yourself into trouble. But of course, as we've seen, Yi is not the type of guy.
이순신 장군이 명령에 따르지 않는다는 소식을 듣자 이걸 꼬투리 잡아 이순신 장군은 반역죄로 재판을 받게 됩니다. Ryu could do nothing to save him.
What?
Yi was ordered to return to Seoul for his punishment. His replacement as head of the navy would be Won-kyun. 그리고 원균이 시원하게 말아먹는 내용이 나옵니다. Japanese ships first invaded and then promptly scuttled his own fleet. A fleet 4 times as large as the one Yi had been using to inflict such heavy losses on their enemies. 그리고 이순신 장군님은 명령 불복종으로 간신히 사형은 면하고 백의종군 한다는 내용입니다. Reduced to the rank of a common soldier.
Come on!
And sent off to fight with one of the armies.
No.
But not long after he arrived at the army, the Japanese tried the same trick again. They sent the court a letter, this time informing them of a large transport fleet that was on its way, and saying how easy it would be to pick off these transports if they hurried. Won-kyun was ordered to intercept this juicy target, and he immediately set sail with every ship Yi had built. 하지만 부산 근처 해역에 도착한 원균은 수송선단이 아니라 500척의 전투 함대를 보고 충격을 받았다는 내용입니다.
Guys, come on.
A massive war fleet of
You complete, utter morons. How many times does this guy have to prove himself before you listen to him?
500 ships. Despite this and the exhaustion his men faced from traveling so quickly, Won-kyun ordered a head-on assault. The winds picked up and a gale began to form. Won-kyun couldn't keep his fleet together. 그리고 7,000량 전투 내용이 나와 넘어가겠습니다. Commanders asked for orders, but Won-kyun had none. Though Busan itself was not far away, he didn't even send out scouts or reposition his fleet. Then, on the night of July 15th, guided by a full moon, the Japanese struck. Won-kyun's forces were in a disadvantageous position. His men were fatigued from lack of supply and demoralized by their loss and the days of waiting. 그렇게 원균은 마지막까지 대패했고 병사들은 탈출해 다른 섬에 가도 일본군이 있어 결국 죽었다는 내용입니다.
Now, Yi would have just never gotten them into that position. In fact, that's why he was demoted again, because he refused to get his fleet into that position. But I can almost guarantee you, even if Yi had been placed in a challenging situation like that, he would have found a much better solution. He would have been able to lead the fleet far more successfully.
그리고 12척의 배만 탈출했다는 내용이 나옵니다. Only 12 ships escaped, saved by one of the sub-commanders who had tried to warn Won-kyun of the danger they faced, including every turtle ship ever built. So with only 12 ships left in the entire navy, who did Korea call upon? Who else? But mere days after reinstating Yi as admiral, the court informed him that they were disbanding the navy.
What?
Yi responded thusly. This humble subject
He responded thusly. Fuck you, I'm doing it anyway.
still has 12 ships. This humble subject still has 12 ships. However small the number may be, I solemnly swear I will be able to defend the sea if I prepare myself for death to resist the enemy.
Yi thrives under these conditions. I believe he can do it.
And so, they let him. And so...
This guy was hardcore. Korea did not deserve him. Korea, you did not deserve this guy.
그래서 이순신 장군님은 끝까지 해군으로 싸우기 위해 많은 고민 끝에 명량을 정하고 이게 조선의 운명을 결정짓는다는 내용입니다. He studied charts and tides, and finally came to decide on Myeongyang, the Roaring Strait. This particular strait had a strong current, but unknown to the Japanese, its current had a strange property. Every 3 hours, it changed direction. On September 16th, the Japanese fleet, looking to destroy the final remnant of the Korean Navy, found Yi's scouts at the mouth of the strait. They chased the scouts into the strait, and that's when Yi fell upon them. Yi's flagship dashed into their midst. Yi's flagship...
I mean, it's crazy because he's got 12 ships. So if he sends out scouts, he sends out a couple of scouts, we're talking like a fourth of his entire navy at this point.
Ship dashed into their midst, roaring cannon and tearing through Japanese timber. But his ship fought alone. The rest of his navy, possessed by fear at facing such a large force, had lagged behind. Eventually, though, seeing the havoc Yi's ship was wreaking on the enemy, they took heart.
그리고 이회는 지난 밤 아버지의 말을 이해하게 됩니다.
This is a comeback story. All of the other ships are gonna come back.
그 용기는 백배 천배 큰 용기로 배가
Exactly.
되었다는 것이다.
Inspire the others to come and help, to come and do something.
허나 아버님, 어떻게 그런 용기로 바꿀 수 있단 말입니까?
You do it yourself. Set the example, right? Right?
죽어야겠지, 내가.
Oh.
Messengers were sent from boat to boat with a mix of inspirational words, threats, and the hope of victory.
Threats.
And soon, the rest of Yi's tiny armada dove into the fray.
We're still in action. Now we're all gonna go. Now we're all gonna go, right?
So it is alive. The ship is still like functioning.
그리고 그 말대로 두려움은 용기로 변하기 시작합니다.
Good. You see, now we're all inspired. Now they all want to go, huh? Because I feel like with something like this, now they have like proof. Oh, okay, we can actually fight back. Let's do it.
But where are the other ships? There were 12, so 11 is missing. Ah!
Then, a stroke of luck. The enemy flagship was blown apart by friendly fire, and the Japanese began to waver. Some
No
of their
way.
ships began to turn...
Guys, you are not gonna retreat from a force of 12 ships.
And the Japanese began
Nice.
to waver. Some of their ships began to turn about to fall back. And it was just at this moment that the water's current turned. The strait was too narrow for all the Japanese ships to maneuver around each other.
그리고
With the
이걸 본
current roaring
외국인은
against them, ships
Isn't it crazy? I'm kind of off screen. Isn't it crazy what a game changer the propeller was? Or I guess before the propeller, the steamboat, right? So that's like the first time in history where things like the current and the wind direction, which for thousands of years have dictated naval battles or naval travel, merchant travel, any travel on the sea. How much of a game changer?
Fight to the death. That it? That's the order.
그렇게 모든 판옥선이 돌아오자 이순신은 새로운 명령을 전달합니다.
What?
I don't know.
Are they surrendering?
No.
Like, what does this mean?
They're charging.
Got the whole fleet. Charging at ya. Hey, are you ready? Oh. Fear. Now they're scared.
and with the current roaring against them, ships slammed
Wow.
into ships. They tried in vain to retreat, tangled, ships smashing into one another, screams and chaos, and over it all, the roaring water. With the current now on their side, the Koreans gave chase, laying into enemy ships on either side.
I mean, that's just great battlefield selection by Yi. This is something he also seems to be very good at.
The Japanese boats burnt and sank. 133 vessels had come to crush this tiny remnant of Korean Navy, and 31 of them wouldn't be returning. Yi, even when facing odds of 10-1, had once again not lost a single ship.
Playing on easy mode.
Yi's once again not lost a single ship. Word
그저 놀라울 따름입니다.
once again not
Wow.
lost a single ship. Word of Yi's victory spread. As his tiny fleet sailed, one by one, other ships began to show up. Ships that had been thought lost. Ships that had been...
I mean, Yi's life story is really one of repetition, you know? The countless setbacks he's experienced, whether in the context of him continually being demoted and then working back up and then being demoted and working back up. You know, this is a man who you can tell is absolutely devoted to his country and devoted to giving his all to improving Korea's chances of winning, because he is willing to do the same thing over and over and over again, no matter how difficult it is.
And so we'll leave Yi rebuilding the Korean Navy until next week, when we see the Japanese invasion ended for good.
그렇게 영상은 끝이
Wow,
납니다.
dang. I mean, the dude, he was using a cheat code. That's the only thing I can say. He was using a cheat code. So impressive. I cannot wait to learn the rest of his story.
What the actual fuck? Wow, this man is a goddamn genius. Wow, that's impressive.
영트의 리액션.